Anna and Addison Henige are sisters, and that if you're looking at us or you're looking at them, you can see them. If you're listening to this, you're going to hear them in just a second. Anna is finishing up her last semester of college as an education studies major. She's Kappa Alpha Theta sorority president at Kansas State University. Way to go.
Mhm.
And she is super involved in Focus Ministry. She is a Focus missionary working with Focus Ministries. Addison is studying communication sciences and disorders. She aims to one day be a speech pathologist. Maybe she can help me gather my words a little bit better. She's involved with the St. Isidore's Student Center. And these lovely young ladies said that if this episode were a masterclass, it would be titled Together on Purpose, Acts 2:42. Ladies, welcome to Modern Catholic Family, and tell us what that means.
Yeah, for sure. I think, we were just reflecting on our story and our story together in faith, and I think it was made very apparent of the emphasis of community and us having each other. And yeah, Acts 2:42 is one of my favorite verses of how the apostles lived together. Once Jesus was not there with them, and I don't know, I just think it just calls to mind the community and the intentionality and friendship and having being sent out in twos and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we were reflecting on in that. I don't know if you have anything else to add. But.
Well, yeah, it's just I feel I don't know, growing up, me and Anna obviously butted heads a lot, and would probably throw out.
No, you're sisters. How could?
Probably throw out the I'm so upset that you're my sister. But it's as we've grown in faith together, I realized how purposeful and intentional God was in putting us as siblings.
Yeah.
Because I feel we both wouldn't be sitting in St. Isidore's Student Center right now together doing this had we not been siblings and not seen each other's faiths and push each other. But also kind of what Anna was saying with Acts 2:42, it kind of talks about how they devoted themselves to prayer and the breaking of the bread and how just sacraments and all those kind of things, as well as just being in community with others, brought us here in the first place. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, so tell us about this faith and your faith relationship with each other. Have you guys always been super strong in your faith together? Or tell us about your journey.
And how far apart in age are you?
We're 2 years. So I'm July 04 and she's August 06. So almost exactly 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I feel we grew up in a Catholic family, all Catholic family, dad's side and mom's side, very Catholic. Faith was important, but it was very just it's our religion. I feel we do all the things. We go to all the youth ministry event or family ministry events and stuff. We would pray together, but I feel just because of maybe a I don't know, potential lack of formation and stuff, I feel our parents just the relationship part wasn't necessarily preached all that much. And so but they did great in making sure that we knew it was so important and they loved Jesus and that we should love Jesus. And so we had that basis of formation. And then it got around high school where basically my whole life it would going to all the things, but was I really engaged? Did I want to? No. I probably told my mom one too many times, do I have to go here? And she's like, yes, you do. It's Jesus. You love Jesus, but it was right after COVID, one of my friends invited me to go on a retreat called Summit. And it was this outdoor conference kind of vibe. And I had done faith formation and stuff through our home parish and stuff. But at this retreat was the first time I knew adoration was a thing, which is kind of shocking. You'd think if I was really involved in church stuff, I guess sacraments just weren't as really pushed as much as I think they should now that I have the understanding I do. But I went on this retreat and experienced adoration for the first time and had 3 nights of it. And I was in shambles. I'm what is happening? Why am I sobbing? I didn't know this was a thing. And I got it all explained to me. I obviously knew Jesus was the Eucharist. And I think I believed it at the time. But the reality finally clicked. Yeah. And so I was on fire. I was oh my gosh, Jesus is awesome. And these random people I met were come on this retreat with our church. And I was don't know you guys get sure, I'll go, which is not super, super anxious person. I went home from that retreat and told my mom, can I sign up with St. Michael's? And she was I've never heard of that church. I'm it's 30 minutes away, but can I? And she's sure.
Yeah. So then at this point, I was a sophomore. I was a junior in high school and
going into your senior year.
Going into my senior year. Yeah, sorry. So summer, going into my senior year, she was going into her sophomore year. And yeah, I was kind of at a very different spot with faith. I would say similarly of like we'd grow up going to retreats, all that kind of stuff. But like we also like moved a lot growing up, and I think it just like really took a really weird toll on just like, I don't know, let's say like mental health, but just like me. I don't
have
know.
any constant.
Yeah, and like I think that was a big thing. So I just had a lot of like anger festering, all this kind of stuff, and I just like did not want anything to do with faith. I like would still go to please my parents, like, so like I knew it was important to them, but like to her point of like I didn't have that personal relationship or that understanding of like why it should be important to me. But like, yeah, they're my parents, I respect them, I love them, and like, yeah, it was just never explained to me like the reality of like, yes, like being Catholic is a religion, like it's a beautiful thing, but like our relationship with Jesus like should be first. And I didn't get that. I was like, well, I'll go to church on Sundays because that's what I know I should do. And I think it's probably a common story. But yeah, it was this summer where Addison was kind of really getting on fire, and I was just like, don't have anything to do with this, don't understand, like I'll go to church, that's it, don't talk to me. And like we would like legitimately
I have like videos
okay,
like get into of like arguing with her and being like, I'm just excited and happy, and she's just like, just Jesus freak, like what is happening? And I'm like, but like, and I didn't think I was doing anything genuinely. Like the intention wasn't like, my mind was like, I'm gonna evangelize her or whatever. It was just I'm having fun at these things, let me share it with you. And like for some reason she was like,
I was in a place of
it wasn't ready to hear it.
And so around this again, like, and so she kept kind of having these experiences of like, come do this, come do that, come do whatever. And I was like, no, like push away.
I finally came back from, so the first retreat that I talked about that I was like, whoa, Jesus, Eucharist, adoration. A month later was this one with this random parish. And Anna was so confused. She's like, you don't know these people.
Yeah.
Why are you?
Stranger danger.
Stephenville Youth Conferences. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yes,
probably. It's in like, it's at like Missouri State is like where our group goes. But after I came back from that, so like this is there's a month in between, and in that month in between, like I'm trying to go to adoration myself. For me and my best friend Thea, she's also very Catholic. She went on summit with me, got me to go there. We would talk about faith. Like I was very like interested in it and so excited for Steubenville. But again, in the meantime, Anna was just kind of like cracking jokes or being like, what's going on? You don't know these people. And I'm like, I don't know why I feel so comfortable going, like whatever. Yeah. And then I came back from Steubenville and walked inside and just gave Anna a hug.
And I had the intention of like avoiding her. Like I mean, every time she comes back from things like this, she wants to share with me. Like, and again, similar to my parents, like I was willing to like let her share because I love her and I care about her, but like it just got me so infuriated. I think it was really just Jesus kind of pecking at my heart. But like, yeah. And so like my full intention was like, I knew my mom had left. I was calculating it, but I ended up doing the dishes, lost track of time. She walks in the door. I was like, oh crap. Like now I can't just avoid her. Like I was like, I'm gonna try to avoid her for the first 12 hours she's home, and maybe she just like let it go. She comes into the door and like they were just like both so awkward. And my mom was like, or Addison said, can I give you a hug? And I was like the last thing I probably said was like, I never want to talk to you again. Like that's just what a relationship. My mom was just kind of like, Anna, just let her. Like my mom was like so defeated, and she was like, just let her. I was like, oh, okay.
So I literally was like,
I don't know. There's
because on the conference itself, I don't remember the theme that year. I think it was restored. And so a lot of the talks were about like letting Jesus like heal you and also like people in your life and like forgive people in your life and just like love people where they're at. And I think something clicked that like maybe I hadn't been loving her where she was at. So when I'm coming home with all these crazy Jesus things, she's like, well, you're not acting like that. You're like rude to me. You're not understanding me. So like, you know, I had like this whole like, okay, like I think this is clicking, but also on the retreat and stuff, like the community that St. Michael's youth group is insane. Like 80 kids a week, if not more, at Life Teen events. Like we brought like 130 something kids to the conference last year. I was a summer missionary this summer for them. Like I went back because I love them so much, but like sacramental based. Yeah. It's very like, but it's insane. Like these people like go to adoration and go grab ice cream. Like it's like faith is the foundation of all these friendships. And so I went on this retreat and was like, who are these people and how can I be friends with them? Like genuinely. And so I came back and I was like, Anna, like you have to come with me. Like I remember I gave her that hug, life moved on. We didn't talk about it. And that night she comes into my room and she's like asking me questions about it. And I was like,
because like my side of the experience was like, I mean, because it was just like evident of like that forgiveness just doesn't come out of anywhere. And I think there's just something that clicked of like, oh wait, like there's something else here. And so we just kind of talked about it all night.
I think we were up until 3 and she just kept asking me random questions about like, what did you experience? Like, what were the talks like? And it's like, because I very vividly remember this like prayer exercise one of the priests had us do that was like, just close your eyes and think of someone you haven't forgiven. And I was shocked when Anna came up because I was like, nothing huge had happened. But I think it was just that like sister resentment of like, like competition. I don't really know what it was. And then when I came home, I just felt so inclined to give her a hug. And then it was like, she just wanted to know more about it. And then I invited her to go to Life Team that Sunday because I got back on like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And she said yes. And I was like,
yeah.
whoa.
I wasn't expecting that.
And then from that point on, so then that kind of led us to, we ended up transferring. So we were at public school, met people at this youth group. And at least from my perspective, they're like, hey, where do you go to school? I was just meeting them. And I was like, I go to Olathe West. They're like, well, we go to St. James. And I was like, that's cool. And they're like, you should transfer there. And I was like, what? I'm a senior, like 10 days away from being a senior. They're like, so what if you just do it?
But
Like,
they were talking, I mean, because at this point, like, I guess my perspective was like going from like, okay, I love Jesus and I care about him to like, I need to be pursuing him at all times because like, what have I been doing? Like the whole leading up to that. And so like, we have these friends who are so super faithful and so in their faith, and they're telling me that like school is what has helped that because St. James has mass every morning and theology classes. And so they're like telling us all this stuff. And we're like, okay, like whatever. And then so, we like bring it up to my dad as a joke. And he's like, we kind of wanted you guys to go there. Yeah. Just when we moved back to Kansas, we didn't want to take you away from your friends. And we were like,
yeah. So long story short, we ended up transferring to Catholic school. I'm just trying
to both of you transferred.
Yes. So I was going my senior year, like a week and a half, like 10 days. I kid you not. It was like, we started like mid-August. This was like last week, like end of July, like July 27th-ish, somewhere in there. And yeah, I ended up transferring. Like that was like a Monday or Tuesday. And then by that Friday, we were transferred schools. So I think that was kind of for us,
random.
like
so random.
Yeah, like we started going to Catholic school, started going to youth group. Like I actually had friends that like pushed us in faith. And I kind of, I guess, I mean, obviously there's been ups and downs.
Within your first month you were giving.
Oh, well, yeah. They definitely pushed us in faith. And like the Lord was definitely very present there, and like that's where he wanted us. And I mean, there's been ups and downs since then, but I think that's kind of where we're
and all this from a hug.
Yeah, that's what my mom always says that.
Right? Yeah.
She's like, I'll be like being like kind of funny to Anna, and she's like, give her a hug, and we're just like, oh.
Your hugs are powerful.
I think it was more just like the forget. Like it's just, I mean, like you talked about, like, for me at that point, like I did not, like there was a lot of, I think, like healing, like I was in, like needed to be happened in my life, and like just from, again, like various things. And I think, like something about that was like, I never like understood how like Jesus, again, like could personally impact me. And I think, at least for me, and I think for a lot of probably youth kids would say this, of like they encountered Jesus first through somebody else. And like, because it's like seeing that love that my sister was able to give me, even though I'd done all these hurtful things, it's like, well, that came from Jesus, didn't come from her, you know, and like realizing that. Realizing that. I think,
your senior year and your sophomore year, you're in school still together.
Yes.
But then, Anna, you only had 1 year there, and then you went off to college. So now you're in college on your own, and Addison is left at a new high school essentially on her own. How did you guys navigate those times?
Wow.
Well, number one, apart, but how also did you find your community?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think having the year where like me and I would drive to everything together, and we had, like I was saying, like our youth group, like it's kind of funny, like it really was like our friend group, like our family. We were with them all the time because we would go to like Bible study and then like hang out in the parking lot for like 2 hours after just talking. Like it was the most like honestly wholesome. Like I look back and I'm like, how was that my high school friend group? But like I think we had already gotten so close with all of them that like when the seniors that we were friends with left, like I still had people. But in like the St. James realm, I think it pushed me to find my own people and my own faith, like not based on if Anna was going to mass to drive. Like I had to actually make it a priority myself. So I think it helped me be more like individual, but it also like, I think I did have a safety net in the friends I had while she was still there. So I feel like first was probably different because she got sent away. Like I still had the but
So I think for me, I'd say like a lot of ups and downs from now like then until now. But I think I kind of had this big like reconversion, like rediscovery of faith, like my senior year. And I think, like a lot of it was built around people. And I think coming to college, I realized like, oh, wow, like there's still gaps in like who I know Jesus to be. Cause all these people were gone that like I loved so much and that showed me Jesus so much. But like, there were parts of my heart that like, yeah, like I was like, I don't know him as well as I thought I did. And so I think, and I joined a sorority, love Greek life, but there's a lot that comes with that, just party culture and all those types of things, trying to fit in, trying to find a place. And I think, yeah, like I looked to my sorority to find that community that I had at St. Michael's and at St. James, and like great people, love them, obviously, but it's just different. Wasn't the community that like I should have been seeking maybe at that point. But yeah, so I think a lot of my freshman year was really just trying to figure out like who is Jesus to me, and like took a lot of mistakes to get there. And then my sophomore year, I actually went back to the youth group between my freshman and sophomore year to help volunteer, and just like reminded of like those virtuous friends and like that community, and like the Lord really entered my heart through service that summer and was like like you're chasing after me and you don't know it, like you're trying to find out like all these other things, but like it's really me that you desire. And I'm like, yeah, like I knew this the whole time, but I just didn't want to admit it because it was hard for me to be like, oh, like my faith was this way with all these people. I come to college, it was basically back to ground zero. But like, it's like it's hard to admit that like, oh, all I need to do is just let him in. And so going back to school my sophomore year, again, I was like, hey, gotta get plugged into St. Izzy's, gotta like, all these types of things, got into a Bible study here. And I think to your point of like, being together for parts of faith was really great, but being apart, I think, has been also so beautiful. Like us, again, just like figuring out,
finding our own identities in Jesus. Like it's not just based on if he's praying or not,
all part of your development. Needed.
So it was my sophomore year, and I just got like, and obviously got involved in Focus as a student, especially with Greek life. Like they do a lot of like Greek life outreach and those types of things. So that was like really great. Just like, once again, just like realize how the Lord uses like your hurts and struggles to help people. Yeah, exactly. And all that kind of stuff. So I guess I don't know if that answers, but
it strikes me as absolutely beautiful and amazing how quickly the fire caught with both of you. And maybe took Anna a little bit more time, but it caught fire. And I've been reading a ton of articles and seeing different news stories that are saying Catholicism in the U.S. is having a major resurgence, especially among young people. And y'all have gotten caught up in it, which is amazing. I guess like my question would be for those parents, especially that are listening to this episode or watching it, like what advice would you give them to help their children get caught up in this?
You're just talking, and a quote from Hunger Games came to mind. It's like, "Fire's catchy."
Of course.
I don't know.
Fire is catchy. Yes.
In our own experience of like, our parents didn't understand. Like, I mean, like they did, but like also
when we started going to stuff, my mom would make jokes because we'd go to adoration every Monday and Friday. She was like, "Is there a bar we don't know about called adoration?"
Called adoration.
She was being funny, but like I think they kind of didn't have that understanding, and so we kind of were able to like.
Yeah, like they were. We talked about this before. We were kind of like going through like how we'd answer some of these questions. And I think like
you didn't know what I was going to ask.
I think our parents were just like very humble and being like, okay, I don't actually really know if our parents have ever been to adoration before, and like, but I mean now they have. I know that, but like right, like when we were kind of rediscovering that, it's like because I just think like our world is different. Like there's a lot of hurt in our world, and I think youth especially, like like there is a reality like we all know we're searching for something more. And I think just the way that, I mean, there's different ministries and organizations out there that are like allowing like kids to realize like, you can evangelize and like talk about God. And I think it's just spreading that way. But I think it was like really impactful that our parents, like they didn't understand, but that didn't stop them from like allowing us to like explore it. And I think, it just took a lot of humility in them to voice that of like, we don't get it, but like, we're happy and very proud, and like would sit down and have the conversations with us, and just I guess just allowed it to happen. And like in a lot of ways, like I don't think they realized like like how much they're probably like living into the Lord's will and all that kind of stuff. I think sometimes parents are a little, I don't want to say scared, but like it's hard to let your kids experience something that you've never experienced. And
I think that's an accurate statement.
And I think for our parents, and I guess I never really thought about it until recently, but it's a really good job at expressing that they, didn't understand, like, why we're going to adoration so much, or why it was so important, impactful, all that kind of stuff, but they still, like, allowed it to happen. So,
Yeah, I mean, like, I think to kind of put that into like words to, like of advice, it's almost just like, I think it was so helpful that they acknowledge like the humility and like to hear your parents be like, I don't know about that. Tell me about it. Like, I want to hear about it and to hear like why you chose it, instead of just being like, this is what you do in faith and this, and this, and like whatever. Like, instead of it being like a rule book that like they heard of almost, it was more like, I think there was something so special about how, in a sense, it felt like we were able to like lead our parents. Like, it felt like we had a responsibility almost. And I think that's what pushed me to like, my mom would ask me a question, I wouldn't know the answer. So I would like go find a book or talk to one of my teachers about it, or like ask my youth minister, or like, do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's like, there's so much of just being humble of like, oh, I don't know the answer, but I know it's important. So I'm going to like want to talk to you about it and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think humility they showed us, like being parents, but still being like letting us figure out things for ourselves was like the best way to go about it. Not just like, my parents could have forced Anna to go on this retreat with me. They never did that. They let it be our own. And then ultimately God's will prevailed, but it's like, they could have been pushing us to do all of this more early, or for her to just get along with me and do whatever I said. Oh, go to this, go to that. But they were like, no, it's her choice. Yeah. But we know it's important, but we're not going to push you. I guess it was just really in the, like, they let it be our own. Yeah. While still
that's what I was going to say. It sounds like, just allowing you all to experience this newfound love of God, love of Jesus in your own way, and not, it's tempting for anybody, I think, to say like, oh yeah, I know something about that. Well, you need to do it this way to be successful at it. But they allowed you to experience it in your own way.
Have your own journey.
Have your own journey. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
How hard was it for you girls to, and I know probably Addison was a little bit different because Anna was already there since you attend the same university, but how hard was it when you first got to school to actually find a place to be involved, to decide you want to be involved in it, and then to maybe, Anna, bring your sister along, right?
Yeah, I was actually, again, reflecting on this the other day, not intentionally, but yeah, I think there, like in my situation, there was just a lot of like desire and want, but I think, like when you grow up family, always going to church, those types of things, you come to college, it's like the devil hates that like you might make a decision that like you want this for yourself. And I think that's probably a very common occurrence. Like, unfortunately, with the, like, even, I mean, you can probably speak to yours in a second, but like even with Addison, like came in much more strong than me, I would say, with faith. And like, still, I think there's this temptation, like, oh, like I can do this on my own. I don't have to do like all these types of things. And yeah, so I mean, for me, it took a second, and as much as I like, I don't know, it's just like now look at my life, like, like I'm a student missionary, all this kind of stuff, like everything I prayed for, I like, the Lord has granted, but it's like, I wouldn't want to have given away like any of the hardships that came with like learning about like how to be in community with these people and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it definitely wasn't easy. Like, it took a lot, and there's just a lot of lies and a lot of just things that want to maybe push you away from the good that like especially at a place like St. Anne's, there's a lot of good that comes of it. So yeah, for me it was definitely difficult, but I don't know, Addison, your story is kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, I think for me, because I had the blessing of 2 more years of youth group and Catholic school, I came in with more of like a set, like, I don't want to fall into this. I want to be careful with this. And by the grace of God, like, I've been able to like kind of stick to a lot of that, which I feel like I've been like very like lucky and happy that's worked out that way. But I think a trend I'm like connecting in our story is a lot of like letting people have their own journey. Like Anna, because she had already found like her people at Izzy's by the time I got here, because she'd been here for 2 years, and she kind of like walked in her sophomore year or whatever, and like she got to know people. And stuff. Like, she would extend the invite and would like invite me to the missionary's house to hang out and have a bonfire, or like take me to mass if I needed to. But if I said, oh, I have this, she wouldn't push or try to be like, but it's mass, it's like this. Like, and honestly, I'd say like it took me until second semester to realize, okay, I care about Jesus, but am I really giving him all the time I have? Because I would be sitting in my room watching a movie with my friends and being like, oh, I prayed today. And it's like, well, did I actually, or how intentional was that? Or could I have gone to mass? Like, I think there was a lot of things where I was like, I'm doing enough, when it's like, I feel like that's such a lie, because you could always be doing more. Yeah, and it's also like, it was kind of one of those things where it was like, okay, well, I'm not making bad decisions, so I'm good with Jesus. It's like, well, but I'm also not actively pursuing him. Like I'm sitting around at night when I could be. So I think, like for me, like Anna kind of let me find that on my own. It was helpful having her because when I would go to things, people she knew would be there. I'd meet people, but it wasn't until second semester when I was like, wait, like I want this community because Anna's found so much good in it, and I want to make it my own. And especially I've been here a month, and I've already like been here a month this year, and like because of the kind of like slow way I started getting to know people last year, like I have my own little group here now, and it's like awesome. So it's like genuinely like giving me the freedom to be my own person in it, and realizing no, like I actually personally want to pursue him so intentionally, and like I don't want it to be a passive thing. Is kind of I feel like where I've found my community here,
and I think that's kind of like it's like it's because of again like my experience. Like it's like I know like everyone finds Jesus in their own way, and I think especially with college, like why I'm so passionate. I feel like college ministry is because it's like that choice that you have to make, but like any choice, it has to be yours. And I think same thing with faith or just getting involved or like deciding to pray every day or whatever, all those things. It's like no one can make that for you, and like that's between you and God. Like I can pray, like as a mission, like I look at it like like my job is like to guide these people, but it's like really be praying for them that like the Lord really like is helping them decide like what what they should be doing with their time. Like you're kind of saying, it's like it's not for me to force or for me to whatever. So I think for me that's why it took me so long, because there's a lot of things in my relationship with Jesus that I was figuring out too of like I actually desire this, and so I think
Do you think that the you guys obviously have a really good, strong group, it sounds like, through St. Isidore's, but do you feel like there are a lot of college students in your community that feel like you do, or do you guys feel like you're sort of the anomaly?
I was going to ask a similar question. About like how do you perceive people outside of your immediate group looking at you, even though it appears that you probably don't care what they think, but
and I'm not even thinking so much about how they're looking at you, but obviously you guys are so strong, and so people are probably looking at you thinking like those girls are on fire, right? And do you feel like the other students around you are as energetic and as passionate, or do you think they're kind of still in like some lukewarm bathtub that is about to get cold?
I mean, I definitely think, especially being in Greek life, like me and Anna have had the opportunity to like kind of see both sides of the coin, like people who are not in Greek life and just like Izzy's all the time. They live at St. Izzy's. They love it. Their community is here, and that is final. Or you have people like us who do give into Greek life in the sense of like you care about it, or intentional with it, but also hear a lot with their friends a lot. But I also I think especially being in a sorority, like I feel like there's girls that are Catholic, and just by like me going to mass, are like, oh, I'll come too. And like, so I feel like there's been opportunities where like, even if like we've noticed like lukewarmness, like within people here, it's like they see what you're doing, and if there's nothing going on, they'll tag along because it's college and we have freedom and we can do whatever we want. So it's cool. I think obviously anywhere you go, you're going to find people who are super in it or super on the edge, or like want to take care of it more and want to foster it more, but don't know how. And I think people, sometimes when people are like, you're so on fire, like I sometimes I'm like, feel so like, what do you mean? Like, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm deserving when people like are like, I want to like go more, and like I can like you take me. Like I'm like, what do you mean? Like I'm just going to St. Izzy's. Like, but I feel like being within Greek life, like I would honestly say my first semester I did kind of go more lukewarm again, because I was like, I got other stuff going on. So Jesus is on the back burner. Like having someone like Anna who went to be a focus, or is now focused missionary, and like just other people I knew that like my Bible study leader and stuff, like who literally loves St. Izzy's, it like pushed me to like snap out of that lukewarmness and be like, no, I want to take this seriously, and I want it to be something actually for myself.
So and I'll say like like in the general like St. Izzy's like community, I would say like I mean most of our daily masses are packed full. Like I mean not like Sunday mass full, but like it's like for a Thursday or whatever night, it's like like there's a lot of people there. So I will say like they're like our holy hours are pretty set.
Very
specifically here, but I do think like at a lot of college campuses, it's like it's just like this push for adoration, and we actually added we added more holy hours, and like it's just people that we had enough people that wanted to fill them, like stuff like that. So I do think like very on fire, like from my perspective, campuses, and I think to Addison's point, it helps a lot when students are also kind of given the opportunity to be on mission for their friends of like,
Yes.
even with the kids who, for us in Greek life, it's really easy. Like, it's not hard to see the poverty in people's hearts. Like, I walk out of my room and it's like, wow, like people are either talking bad about themselves or other people. And it's just like, that's just a lot of the world. And I think for us, it's like, it's like, that whole idea of, it's like knowing the evil of the world, but also like wanting to know the grace of the Lord. And it's like, we don't have to, like, every day is a reminder of like why I think we do what we do, and like lead Bible studies, do those things, all that kind of stuff. And I think some of like, even if you're not in Greek life, it might be a little bit harder, but like with like a lot of times, like our priests are always talking about like, we have like this year we have I think 70 something OCA signups already, and they're like, what if that doubles? Like
Holy
we did
moly.
the joke last night. So one of our priests,
the homily yesterday,
one of our
so
priests,
funny.
so like Thursdays is like a big, like you go to the bars on Thursday nights, whatever. And like a lot of Izzy's people will go, but the priest will go with us. And he was like, y'all laugh at me, but he was like, I bet you if y'all intentionally start going to the bars and talking to these people about Jesus, those numbers are going to double. And it's like, but like, he's not wrong.
No,
like there's some
He's
people.
not wrong. Yeah.
Like he's like, I've talked to people at the bars on whatever night, and they like, I see them front row at mass the next Sunday, and it's like,
wow,
stuff like that. Of like, sometimes it's a joke, sometimes but it's like, like our priests are also very intentional of like coaching mission, and it's like
That's
realizing that when Jesus says like, go make disciples of all nations, like I'm with you always, like he means it. It's not just a book, like it's not just like a line in the Bible that doesn't mean anything. So I think just they're very intentional, at least at St. Isidore's, but I would assume a lot of other campuses of like coaching how to go out and kind of tackle that lukewarmness. And
But it seems to me that y'all are doing such an amazing job of evangelizing just simply by living your lives, like leaning into the Holy Spirit that is drawing you to Jesus and living your life in that manner, and then having people see that and, like you said, say, oh yeah, you're going to mass, I guess I'll go too. I mean, what better way to evangelize than just simply living your life? It also, it's interesting to me that, we've got, we have one in college who's at a specialized flight school. We've got our oldest who's going to she needs
oldest
to
daughter.
Work.
You said our oldest
daughter. Sorry. She needs to start working on her college applications like yesterday. But I know that she's looking at some schools that are affiliated with a Catholic church or run, but she's also looking at some that are not. And it's interesting to me that at a state school, not a Catholic school, y'all have found, an extension of what you had found in high school, and now it's being multiplied in a state school. That's amazing. I don't know, like when you look at your friends from high school who are in other colleges, do they have the same opportunity? Does it seem like they
experience?
do? Or
Yeah. So like I said, I went back this summer and was a summer missionary. So I would like lead small groups and stuff. And I have a friend at Nebraska, a friend at Arkansas, a friend at KU, and they are all so involved with their student centers. Discipling people because they're a year older than me, so they're juniors, like discipling freshmen, leading Bible studies. Like it's insane. Like it's shocking to me. Like because we also have friends at Benedictine who are also on fire, but like that's a Catholic school. They have chapels, dorms. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like
they're like that's the real deal.
What are you doing? But like I feel like it's like, but a lot of our friends have this. It's a lot of focus stuff.
Not to be biased, but
a lot of our friends and stuff like have very similar stories to kind of what Anna was saying, like had the knowledge of Jesus and stuff, but kind of fell into it. And then we're like, this is the least fulfilling thing I'm doing. I want to go back to what high school was like, and then found a community within their student centers, focused ministries, or all that kind of stuff within their school. So it's like, it is kind of a trend, but it's funny. It's like the people that were in our youth group, which makes sense because of how much I personally value that, and we're still friends with them. We hang out in the summer. We serve together this summer, so it makes sense. But it's like we do kind of see that they have those opportunities, and it's like, and it's a lot of times state schools because people have to go out of their way to choose it. It's not just given.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's it's like I actually was kind of deciding between Benedictine and K-State, and I even back then, like I mean, I've grown so much since then. But there was such a pool of like, when I leave college, like I would, as much as like it was hard to choose faith, like coming here was like I did choose that amongst everything else in the world. And I think sometimes like going to Catholic school is awesome. Like, I'm glad I went when I was in high school, but I think sometimes, it's like very, and like, like having to choose now and not like getting out in the real world and having to choose, and there's not much support, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, you girls, as a parent, right, who has college age children, you girls definitely give and bring light and hope to our children going off and knowing that you have found, and to your point, at a state school, right, not a Catholic college, you have found communities that are thriving and they are alive and they are evangelizing. And it's an amazing thing to hear as a parent who is getting ready to send her children off to college.
Yeah. It gives us a lot of hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm curious to know more about Focus missionary work,
I'd like to as well,
Anna, that you've done, and anything Focus related that we have to talk
what
about.
is it? And then tell us what it is.
Talking about it if I've ever. So Focus, nonprofit missionary organization, stands for Fellowship of Catholic University Students. There's 200 campuses, over 1,000 missionaries. They all get sent out. So usually teams at campuses starts with 2 girls and 2 guys, but like K-State right now has 10 missionaries, which is awesome. 3 of them are like me that will graduate December and leave, but still like Nebraska Lincoln has like 14, like crazy numbers, right?
Yes.
But just people typically like younger, like just graduating college, they kind of go to campuses and essentially like kind of coach mission in a lot of ways. Like we at least at K-State, and each campus does a little different. Like we had all the Bible studies, so all the Bible studies are led through Focus. We disciple, mentor, form students. So we have tons of articles and resources that like I meet with, like there's girls that like I've met and just form natural friendships with. I'm like, hey, like do you want to be formed further in this? Like, do you want to learn how to go out and also do this? It's really just, again, and teaching people like how to pray and how to have an intimate like relationship with Jesus and what that means. And a lot of it is just friendship and, like you said, like living my life in a way that first kind of attracts them. Like we call it like wind, build, send. It's like by the way I live my life, like, and able to invite them into that, they're like, oh, like I want that too. Like you're hopefully like they're praying every, that's something we do as a team, like pray every day. We go to mass every day, pray rosary every day. Like, like the hope is that like our lives are filled with the Holy Spirit to where other people see that, especially on campus. And then that kind of goes and like, through that, like, forming them more and sending them out to do the same. So it looks different on every campus, but it's kind of just the basis of what Jesus kind of did with his disciples in a lot of ways, just living alongside them and sending them on to do the same. So I don't know if
it's very similar. I would say if it's like the thing that's like kind of most similar to our youth group back home is like they make faith more fun, but more like it like focuses still on the Eucharist and the sacraments and stuff. But like we'll go have game nights at the missionary's house or bonfires and like different, like they host Greek events. Like we just had mass outside of a fraternity on what was that, Monday? Yeah, Monday. Like on the lawn of a fraternity, or we've had them inside fraternity. Like we had a great of Phi Delta Theta last year and talked to us about Catholicism. So it's like Focus basically,
it caters to what the students need.
Yeah, but it like I said, like I feel like I would not be as involved if Focus wasn't a thing because they plan things that are like fun to go to. So then I meet all these different.
And I think like as a missionary, especially, it's like, it's like you just kind of assess, you assess like what students need. And it's like a lot of what, I explain to people, we have to fundraise for everything. So I'd have like appointments with people and I'd be like, I'm just like an older sister or older brother in faith. It's in a lot of ways, like a lot of what I do, the women that like are in my Bible study, the women that I'm mentoring is like with Addison. I'm like, it's just like, like I'm the person, your parents are gone. You don't, like even in high school, you have like your coaches and your parents and your you have constant people, but you come to college and it's like, who's that going to be? Yep. And I think missionaries are kind of like that, you get to know them, like, I do anything for somebody ever, but like, it's like for them to know Jesus and I would literally do anything for that. And so, I guess it's that, it's basically just, or like mottos, like to know Christ Jesus and to fulfill his great commission. So it's just giving students that ownership of like, this faith cannot move on without you. Like there are people still in our present world that like don't know Jesus. Like Christianity, there's like, like certain parts of the world like don't know Jesus. And like, and similarly, like even here, it's like people don't know him the way that he intends us to know him. So like, that's our job and our responsibility and just teaching the mission mindset. Yeah.
It makes sense that there is such fire on these college campuses when your mission that you're being sent out to evangelize is the college campus.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's already a comfortable place for you, number one, and also for the people that you're speaking to who are like, oh, it's Anna. I'll talk to Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it is, you're right. It's your friends, but your mission is your own community, and which is just as important as being sent out to, I don't know, the wilds of Africa. You know, I mean, we have to also sometimes just start at home and work with those around us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
I
it's-
love
and
it.
so I have like, I'm filled with hope right now.
Exactly.
That's all
Exactly.
I can say. I'd love to get into the rapid fire round to dig in even more about the two of you individually and learn a little bit more. So first question I have is, what is one resource that you feel like all Catholic families need to know about, whether online or offline?
This is so random, but I don't know if you've heard of this. It's called masstimes.org or .com.
Oh yeah, we love it.
Yep.
It's so awesome because there's so many times, especially when we're traveling as a family, it's like what church we go to, what time, but also like confession times and stuff. It's like you just put in your zip code and it's like all these churches within like a 45-mile radius. And it's so awesome because then no one has any excuse to ever miss mass because there is a time. You just might not be able
That's
That's awesome.
It has saved my life multiple times of just like, oh, I had like this, and this. Dang it, I guess I have to drive 20 more minutes, but I will get to mass.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I would say, okay, I mean, Catholic Answers. It's like an online like platform of like, you can literally ask it anything and it'll pull up. You have another one.
I have
Okay.
another one.
Anyways, but that's just like helped me a lot of like, I think sometimes, especially once you get to college, some like the nitty gritty of like whether somebody stays Catholic or not is like things that they just don't understand.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of helped me a lot, especially like with, girls that I walk with, if they have questions and I'm like, I'm going to have to do some research on it. So that's just a resource I've found that has helped.
I love that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I also, this is so random.
Yeah.
It's AI, but it's called, I think it's like, is it
Catholic Chat?
No, it's like, it's like CATEGPT or whatever. And you'll ask like a theological question and it'll like find you what the church fathers have said about it, find you what the Bible has said about it, find you what the catechism has said about it. And it like, so there's been multiple times I'm like, what does the Catholic Church think on this? And it'll be like, quote, 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 catechism, and I'm like, okay, guess that's my answer. Instead of like,
wow.
like AI can be good, I guess. It's giving me.
Yes, I did not know there was a Catholic only.
Yeah, well, I thought you were actually going to say truthfully. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Yes, I have heard of that
But
one.
yeah, it sounds similar. So that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
I know you got a lot of studying to do and reading already, but are there any books that you're reading right now or any that you've read recently from a faith perspective that you'd recommend to our audience?
I am currently reading Interior Freedom by Jacques Phillip. Is that how you say his name? Jacques Phillip. But it's about genuinely like how if we fully trust and love God, then there's genuinely nothing to worry about. It's literally all about like, how can I fully be free and like detaching from things in your life that like you hold on to and how that's like impacting your freedom. Like looking at your struggle for more than like the second it comes to your mind is like attacking your freedom. Like instead of being like, actually I see this. Okay, it's God's now. Like basically it's just, I started writing notes on it and I think half of my journal is filled with literally just quoting the book, which I don't know why, but my brain is like, write it down. It's a little tiny book. It's like maybe 80 pages, 90 pages, but I've been like every 3 sentences, I'm like,
For me, if you probably anything by JP2 or like to do with JP2,
His Five Loves is
His Five Loves is a good book, and also like Love and Responsibility, so hard to read, but I'm very like, I mean, a lot of it, say like my kind of path has been like love and like what it looks like sacrificially love, and so he just talks a lot about like, I mean, yes, he was a big missionary, especially with youth. So I think that's something I connected him over, but like also just like the way he not only loved Jesus, but like loved the things he was passionate about, but also loved like the people in his life, and just was like so intentional with like, you're just like an awesome guy too. But just a lot of his words are just very like how do we love each other better? And I think especially on being a missionary, it's something like that's my main goal is I want people to feel loved not only by me but like by the Lord. And I think if that can be shown by a human first, like I would hope that it'd be the best love I can give them. But so anything by JPG, Love and Responsibility, His Five Loves.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
Love it. Love it. What is one piece of advice you would each give to your younger selves?
Honestly, I always say like the one thing I wish is like, I know I was lucky enough to fall across this love for Jesus young, but sometimes I'm like, I just imagine like I'm a very anxious person in general, and middle school and high school was really hard when it came to that. Yeah. There were just most random things that I would get so like overwhelmed about, whatever. And if I had this understanding of Jesus earlier, I feel like there would have been a lot more joy and I wouldn't have been as hard on myself. And I know obviously those things made me into who I am today, but I really would think like, I wish people had this understanding like as soon as they're bored. Cause like, I just feel like so much of like the surrender and like trust I have in like the worst possible thing could happen. And I'm like, God allowed it. So I have to allow it and take it as it may come. So I feel like if I were to kind of have this level of faith that I have now, back then, even at the beginning of my faith journey, like the level of like contentment and like God's placing me here so intentionally back then, I feel like would have saved me from a lot of freak out and like crash out moments. But I just think truthfully, like if I could tell myself, you will be fine, literally just hand it to him, like just give it all to him. I feel like I would have been saved from a lot of stress and anxiety.
Yeah. I think for me, advice I would give is a lot of like my story too has to do like identity and like who I am as a beloved daughter. And I think, just like, I don't know, just like, I think a lot of my life, I was scared to be who I really was. And like, now it's like, I love it. Like, I love that I like, I'm pretty like crack funny jokes, those kind of things. Like, I think I was just like scared of who I was, of like, oh, I wanted to be who people like wanted me to be. And I think what she'll just walk into rooms and dab at people. She'll just be like, "You're right." Like you wouldn't do that. Like in realizing, like, the only person I was hurting was like not myself, but like the Lord created me to be specifically like to be a vessel for Him to work through. And I think like for so long in my life, I just like low-key just like didn't like who I thought I was. And I'm glad I do that. So I don't know, just giving advice of like. Be who you are. I know it's like so like surface level, but like I think
it's a disservice to God when He made you a certain way, and you're like, I don't want it. Like, you gotta be yourself.
For the record, the dab is not dead.
The dab is not dead.
It's bring it back. It needs to be.
And Anna is proof.
Double dab. Oh my goodness. Ladies, what's one final piece of advice you would each leave to our audience based on anything we talked about today, including the dab? No.
Goodness.
Yeah, well, my brain's thinking.
2 things came to mind.
Okay, you got it.
Find your friends that are okay. The community of saints is something I pray with a lot. So like find your friends that are saints, but also like realize like your friends here on earth are also hopefully one day be the community of saints with you. Like I think that's something that like really sometimes draws me to tears. Like these people, like
that's beautiful.
Like just actively pursuing the Father, like Father's love, also like love with one another, and just like chasing after whatever that is, and like never going into it alone. And then stop tapping me. Sorry, just like this is just a practical thing. In moments that I'm like not sure what's going on in life and really concerned, confused, whatever, I just start doing every doorway I walk through. I say, Jesus, I trust in you. There's just 2 things that. I don't know. Cool. I think things work out. Like whether we like controlling it's not going to do anything. So that's just something I practically.
I feel like our priest here, Father Gil, says this a lot. He's like, you are like the sum of the 5 people you spend your most time around. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's such like a kind of cliche phrase, but it's like I've realized like if one of my friends is maybe being negative or, like then I find myself starting to be negative. Or last year or something when I was in places where people weren't necessarily actively pursuing God, I had no push to actively pursue God. So it's like, I've realized like, okay, if I hang around, one of my good friends, Grace Hornback, we kind of drifted, but we became closer friends this year. And like when I'm with her, we are pushing each other to faith so intentionally. It's like when I am so like in tune with like who I'm around, like it's honestly makes my life so much more like living it to the fullest, because I'm not only being pushed by the people who care about me and stuff. It's like I'm actively like living, kind of like she was saying with the community of saints thing. It's like if I'm surrounding myself with people who are all pursuing the Lord, then inherently I'm gonna just follow suit. It's like if I'm surrounding myself with people who might be pulling me the other direction, then inherently I'm more likely to follow suit. I have to be so much stronger to go against the grain that way. So it's like I think for me, it's just being intentional with the people you spend your time around and the people you give your time and energy to.
Awesome. That's great advice.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Both of you.
Love it.
I'm going to take that one about walking through the doorways now. I've got to remember that. It's so easy, right? And you can just like roll off your tongue and
yeah.
I love it.
Before we wrap it up, would y'all like to pray with me?
Of course.
I was hoping you'd say yes. In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you. Thank you for Anna. Thank you for Addison. Thank you for their parents who allowed them to discover their newly on fire passion for you in their own way. Thank you for their example for other students who are just watching them live their lives and live it on fire for you. Thank you for giving us all the opportunity today here to touch even just one person out of this podcast who will understand that just because you're in college doesn't mean you have to let you, Lord, fall to the wayside. You are the source and summit of our life, and we should be focusing on you first and foremost through every doorway that we walk through. So Jesus, thank you for these two ladies and for our conversations. We ask all these things in your sweet, precious, and holy name, in the name of the Father and the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Y'all are awesome. If our audience wants to get more of the Henige girls in their lives, what's the best place for them to find you?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
That is a good question. Don't give out personal information.
Yeah, fair. And if there's not social media or email or anything like that, if it's just, hey, watch this episode, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Social media. I can send you some focus links to information, my focus link and our social medias. My focus email and my phone number is actually on the focus page too. So that's
cool.
But yeah, especially if people are like, yo, I'm going to get involved and have maybe
that would be awesome.
Connections. Awesome. I get emails all the time. It's like, hey, can you give me connect? I'm like, yeah, I got you.
Perfect. That works.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, you stick with us for just a couple minutes afterwards. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here with us, and for everybody watching and listening. God bless you.
Yes.